Hello, and welcome to another video of Defy Investors, where we are going to be talking about what are the things that you need to scale your real estate portfolio to make it as easy as possible for you to take action and see the results that you want on your path to financial freedom. So let's get started. One of the issues that a lot of investors face is analysis paralysis because of fear of the unknown, because they don't know what's going to be the next step, or they might feel stuck on not knowing what to do after they bought their first deal. So if you're looking to scale your real estate portfolio, if you're looking to scale your cash flow, maybe you're stuck at making $100 or $200 a month in passive income and you want to get it to $1,000, to $5,000, to $10,000. Well, here are the key things that you need in order to scale. Let's get started with those things. We've made it super easy for you. We put the acronym and the method called SCALE. You can call it the scale up method, but for right now, we're gonna call it SCALE. What does it mean? What does it stand for? And how can it help me? How can it help you scale your portfolio? So this is what the SCALE method means. The S stands for strategy. The C stands for capital. A stands for analysis. L stands for lead flow of potential properties that you want to buy or analyze, right? And then the E stands for execution. So we go from the strategy of thinking what we're gonna be doing all the way to the execution side. So let's talk about what all of these means. Number one, as we start on SCALE method, is going to be the S with strategy. So we have to take this into consideration because there are so many different ways to invest in real estate, and understand that if we want to invest for passive income, we chunk it down as easy as possible. There are 4-5 different strategies that one can do when you look at a property. It is very important that when you're looking at a property that you also analyze the properties in various ways so that you know what is the right exit strategy for that property. So one of the key things that's really important is understanding and analyzing a deal from the strategy of long-term tenant investing, right? So you can buy a property. I want to make it super easy for you. Let's say that you buy a single family home or a duplex, right? And you're gonna be putting long-term tenants. For this example, single family home. Long-term tenant in that property. You're gonna analyze the numbers because that is gonna be one of the safest, least amount of work as possible when you are investing. Long-term tenant. Number two, you want to analyze a deal through another strategy, and that is the short-term rental or Airbnb. Depending on your market, depending on the area that you're investing, short-term rentals tend to do well. The other strategy is going to be mid-term rental. So short-term rental, you put on Airbnb, people might rent out the property for maybe a weekend, a week, 2 weeks, maybe for a couple of days while they're visiting the city. So you want to see what are the key things in analyzing the short-term rental properties that are rented daily, less than 30 days. If you want to do a midterm rental on this strategy, you definitely have to consider that the midterm rental will be 30 days or more. When a property is rented as a midterm rental, you tend to not pay the hospitality tax or the short-term tax that some cities have. So you want to take that into consideration. So that is the short-term rental and midterm rental. On the midterm rental, you can find tenants through furnished finders. You can find tenants through Airbnb as well, through corporate rental properties. But the main thing is understanding that it will be for 30 days or more. You can contact some insurance companies because usually there's a lot of insurance claims and the families, maybe their house burned down or it got flooded and they need to be somewhere else. So that is what you can do to be able to get a tenant for 30 days, 60 days, and so forth. So, and the insurance will pay for that so that you can make your income, right? Now, the key thing here is that with a long-term tenant, usually you don't need to furnish the property. So that is the strategy part, right? You want to make sure that you're later, when we talk about analyzing deals, you want to make sure that you're analyzing that you might also have to furnish the property on a short-term rental or midterm rental. And then another strategy is going to be the co-living method. Co-living investing is basically where you rent out the house by the rooms. So you might have, if it's a 4-bedroom home, let's say you have 4 tenants. One of the key things that you can do to maximize the cash flow is, let's say you have a loft area, you can convert that loft area into 2 bedrooms, or maybe if you have an office space and you want to maximize the cash flow, turn that into another bedroom. So you want to make sure that with this strategy, you also have to furnish some of the areas. You don't have to furnish all the bedrooms, but usually you do. And that gives you the ability to maximize the cash flow because the roommates, the tenants, are paying monthly for their room. So imagine that you have 6 bedrooms and each tenant is paying you $800 a month. You will have $4,200 coming in for that property that maybe it might rent for $2,000 for a long-term tenant. So those keep definitely those strategies, those different ways of looking at a property in mind, and make sure that you analyze the deals from that perspective. All right. So this is just a quick intro to the scale method. So we'll keep it short and sweet. In another video, we're going to go deep on the strategy method so that we can break down every single strategy and give you the tools that you need so that you can make sure that you're analyzing the deal the right way for something that will work for you. So what's next? The C is for capital. Capital, that basically OPM, other people's money if possible. You can also use your own cash for the down payment or your own cash for properties to buy the properties cash or the down payment. Now, here's the key thing. With capital, you can use the conventional loan strategies. You can get an FHA loan, conventional loan, USDA loan, VA loan, and buy a property if you're going to be living in that property, right? That is one strategy. There are other types of loans using the DSCR loans where the property will the banks don't use a lot of your personal financials, but they use what the property is going to make as income, and they use that to qualify the property so that you can get the loan. So you have the typical long-term Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae types of loans. You have non-QM, non-conventional loans. And you can also reach out to credit unions. You can reach out to other local banks, to commercial banks in your area. That is how I've been able to grow my portfolio to over 50 units, over 60 doors. And that's been one of those key things that is really important. For example, I have a quadplex that is financed, say, with a commercial loan. The commercial banker has also given me lines of credit on some properties. I, of course, have properties using the DSCR method as a loan. Conventional loans, private money is another way where you can buy properties leveraging your connections. You can have private money because you can raise that capital from other people. And also you can use hard money loans where you can go to an institution and based on how much you're buying the property now, plus potential ARV, the after repair value, you can buy the property. The bank will give you the loans. So it's really important to understand that there's various ways to get capital. And in a future video, we will definitely take a deep dive on capital and how as FI investors, the community, or just by looking at this channel, listening to this, we will be able to teach you how you can raise private capital for your investments. So that's the C. The A stands for analysis. And this is what is really important. If you let me know in the comments, or if you go to the fiinvestors.com as a website, you will be able to download calculators completely free. We have calculators so that you can analyze properties with short-term rental, as a midterm rental, with long-term as co-living. So the idea here is that we will give you all of the tools so that you can analyze the deals the right way, analyze the markets the right way, and know basically what we were chatting on the strategy part. When you're analyzing deals, it's also important to note if that market is good for appreciation or for cash flow, right? Because you might be analyzing a deal and say, look, this property doesn't cash flow that much, but if we look at that particular city, it's going to have a lot of potential for growth on the appreciation side. So you have to take into consideration all of these different factors as you're analyzing deals. Then what's next is the L, which stands for lead flow of potential properties that you can buy. And this comes by the amount of conversations that you're having, by the amount of deals that are getting sent your way, either via email or text or whatever, by investor-friendly realtors that do have the connections of maybe off-market deals. So we want to look at off-market deals, deals that are on the market on the MLS, deals that are listed for sale by owner, deals that are being brought to us by wholesalers, so that we can analyze all of these deals. But what's more important is having that lead flow. So I highly recommend that you are talking and that you get on list of at least 5 wholesalers in each city that you want to invest, and multiple investor-friendly realtors to see if they have off-market deals. But as long as you have your main investor-friendly realtor in that market, you are good. And if you don't have an investor-friendly realtor in a particular market, let us know, because we have connections all over the US where we can help. All right, so that's the L. Now, the last part is execution. Execution is going to be super important, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we take action, right? And that's why it's very important that you connect with other like-minded individuals, like, for example, connect with a mastermind like the FI Investors, where we give you the accountability, but also have all of the training and everything. As of course, we're going to be sharing it here, of how once you buy your property, how you can actually cash flow. And this comes by taking action on the execution based on the analysis that you've done, based on the strategy that you've done, so that you can find the right tenants for the property so that you can actually make some money through your investments. And number 2, we can connect you to either, if you want to self-manage it, there are various companies that you can use to self-manage, like Avail, TurboTenant, there's apartments.com. So those applications, you can use it to self-manage, or in a future video, we're going to be talking about the property management and how you can find and vet a property management company in your area. All right. So with the execution part, the goal of the execution part is to make sure that you are able to cash flow the property, finding the right tenants, finding the right guests if you're doing short-term rental, and getting to cash flow. So that is the E on scale. Now, if we want to see what happens next, you can add the R at the end, like scalar. We can add to the acronym the scalar method. And what we want to do with that is we just repeat the process, right? Now that you bought this property, you can be like, okay, I'm going to buy another property. What is the strategy that I'm going to use on this property? How am I going to get to the capital? Now that I know that strategy, I need to analyze the deal the right way. How am I going to get those deals, my buy box, let's say, into my email, or get the calls or get the text messages? And then how am I going to execute? So the scalar, if we're adding a little bit to it, we are basically repeating the process. So I feel like if you take action on all of this that we have talked about, from strategy, capital, analysis, lead flow, execution, and then repeating it, you will be able to grow your portfolio just like the hundreds of people that have gone through the FI Investors program, because we are here to help you and help everybody on their journey to financial independence. So if you got this far on this video, please do a favor and like, comment, share this with somebody, because we know that this will help others scale their portfolio to people just like you. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to send me an email to info@thefiinvestors.com. You can also check out the FI Investors podcast online and subscribe to this channel, because we're going to be putting a lot of content so that we can help you scale your portfolio. Take care.